guys, today we're talking about surface area of prisms. We're going to talk first about rectangular prisms. Surface area is the sum of every face on a solid. So you would take this entire shape and kind of decompose it into what we call a net, a two-dimensional representation of the solid, like this one. Okay, and then you would use your problem-solving skills. You would think, okay, I'm going to take each of these rectangles, find their area, and add them up. Or if you really wanted to get fancy, you could take the area of this bigger rectangle and these two separately and add them up. It's all in what you want to do. So I'm going to give you a formula, but it doesn't mean you actually have to use that formula for every single one of these. The surface area for a rectangular prism is 2 times the length and the width, because if you look, here's my length times my width. It's the base, and it's also the base up here. Okay, so it's the top and the bottom. So that's this one. If we look over here, the length times the height, that would be our side lengths. This one in the front here, the front side, and the back side. If we took 2 times the width versus the height, it would be these sides of the shape. So notice that we have 2 of each, so that's why we take 2. So what you can do is you can find the area of each one of these and then double them. All right, so let's try this one. Find the surface area of the rectangular prism. We've got the formula listed here, so we need 2 times the length times the width, which would be 15 times 2. We're going to add to that 2 times the length times the height, which would be the front and the back sides. And then we need 2 times this side, which would be 2 times 5, and this side, so 2 of them again. So 15 times 2 is 30. Double that, we get 60. 15 times 5 is 20. Double that, we get 40. And 2 times 5 is 10, but if we double that, we get 20. So if we add them together, we get 120, and that is our surface area of our rectangular prism. Ooh, that's a horrible rectangular prism, but close enough. Now, surface area is like having an entire area, so it's squared. All right, what about this one? You try it, and I'll be back in just a second to show you the answer. Okay, here we go. Okay, so you plug in all the numbers, and if you don't have them in this exact order, it's okay, as long as you have each set once. So 9 times 15, 15 times 12, and 9 times 12. 9 times 12 is the side, 15 times 12 is this side, and 9 times 15 is the top and the bottom. So multiply and then double them. Each side is doubled because you're doing the front and the back, the 2 sides, and the top and the bottom. Add them together and you get 846 millimeters squared. Okay, let's look at another one. Opening day. Everybody loves opening day. Time for baseball season. You can tell I'm hungry. Stadium cushions. You're making the stadium cushion shown. The foam for the cushion costs $1.50 and the fabric costs 50 cents per square foot. How much does it cost to make the cushion? You need to figure out the surface area first. So we will take our surface area with formula shown below, and then we're going to plug in our numbers that we have. So then we multiply them, and then we have to double each of them because we have 2 sides. Notice that these 2 are the exact same because these 2 side lengths are the same, so I don't have to do that work twice. I can just fill it in. Okay, and then so we get 7.5 feet, and these are squared. So that's how many feet squared I would need for each cushion. All right, so the foam cushion costs you $1.50. So for one cushion, I need to pay $1.50. But then I need 50 cents per square foot. Well, if this is my square foot, I'm going to take it times 50 cents. So 7.5 times 50 cents would be $3.75. Add that on to your $1.50, and we get a total of $5.25 to make your cushion. All right, let's look at another example. You are building a wooden chest with the dimensions of 6 feet by 5 feet by 4 feet. The plywood costs $1.75 per square foot. Find the total cost of the plywood. Okay, you try it and I'll be back in just a second to show you what I did. Okay, so here's my work. So I wrote the formula and I plugged in the numbers. Then I multiplied and doubled them. And I got 60, 48, and 40, so the total wood that I need for the chest is 148. But I know that every square foot, which I have 148 square feet, is going to cost me $1.75. So if one costs $1.75, 148 times $1.75 would cost me $259 to make this chest. Now let's talk triangular prisms. Triangular prisms are very similar. We break the shape apart and we look at it. So let's look at this shape. It's made up of 2 triangles and 1, 2, 3 rectangles. So you're going to find the area of all 5 shapes. For the most part, the bases are always the same, right, on a triangular prism. So we can just double this triangle and then break each and every one of our rectangles apart. So if I looked at this one, 4 times 3 is 12, and cut in half, because that would be the triangle's formula, would be 6 inches squared. So this one is also 6 inches squared. The area for a rectangle is the base times the height, so 14 times 3.6, or 50.4 inches squared. Another 14 times 3.6, so again, it's 50 and 4 tenths inches squared. And this one is 14 times 4, so this one is 56 inches squared. Add them all together, and the surface area is 168 and 8 tenths inches squared. Okay, so again, problem solving, but you can use the formula where you take 2 of these bases and add each of these up. Marty is mailing his aunt the package shown. How much cardboard is used to create the shipping container? All right, so we know one triangle has a height of 3 inches, a slanty height of 3.6 inches, another slanty height of 3.6 inches, and a base of 4. Okay, so the triangle, let's draw it, is 4 and 3. So the area of this would be 2 of them, right, because we need 2, times our base times our height cut in half. Well, we know 4 times 3 is 12, cut in half is 6 times 2. So all we have to do is say, okay, these 2's cancel each other out, so it's really just 4 times 3, or 12. If that doesn't make sense, just cut it in half and multiply it by 2. Okay, so the 2 triangles together are 12 inches cubed. If we look over here and we investigate further, we see this is 4, this is 3.6, this is 3.6, and this is 14. What are you noticing? It's the same one that we did over here, right? So the surface area, again, would be 168.8 inches squared. Okay, let's look at this one. I want you to take a second to investigate it. Draw your triangle, and we see that this is a 6, and what is this one? It's the same as this, so it's 8. So this is a 6 by 8 triangle, and so is this. Okay, if we look at one of our rectangles, we know, let's look at this side first. This side by this side. Woo, that's a crazy one. Okay, so this is our 6 and this is 15. If we look at the bottom here, we see that this is 8 and this is 15. And then if we look at this side in green, we see that this is 10 and this is 15. Okay, so find the area of this times 2, because we have 2 of them, and find each one of these. So if you look at this, the area of the 2 triangles is 48. The area of this rectangle is 90, this one 120, and this one 80. So if we add them together, oops, just kidding, this one's 150. I don't know where I guess I was looking at that 8. So we add them together and we get these 2 138, these 2 270, so together 408, and these are centimeters squared. Okay, you try this one and pause the video, and I'll be back in just a second to show you the answer. Okay, here's my work. Okay, so my first thought is I have two triangles, 6 by 8. If you need to, rotate it in your mind so you can see, okay, that this is the base of the triangle and this is the height. Okay, so 6 by 8, and we're going to multiply that by 2, or excuse me, yes, we're going to multiply that triangle by 2 because we have two of them. And we have three rectangles, a 10 by 5, a 5 by 8, and a 6 by 5. Okay? Multiply those. 5 times 10 is 50, 8 times 5 is 40, 6 times 5 is 30, and 8 times 6 is 48, divided by 2, and times 2 is 48. So, plus my 120 gives me 228 centimeters squared. All right, and that's all I've got for you today. I'll see you next time.